Today, we're going to be rebuilding my wrecked 2023 Toyota Corolla Hybrid into something like this. But that's not the hard part. The hard part is actually trying to save money while doing it. Now, in case you missed the last video, we bought this car sight unseen, wrecked off auction, without keys, a battery, and most of the front end. And after getting it home, we tore it down to the bare bones and started ordering parts. And that leads us here today, where I'm going to be rebuilding this car with a budget of just $3,000. That's $3,000 to rebuild the entire front end, buy all the airbags, and get this car roadworthy once again. Are we going to be able to do it without cutting any corners? Well, let's find out. Now, every single rebuild starts here in my garage. Not working on the car, but actually behind a computer trying to find parts. And that's especially important for this rebuild, where we're trying to save as much money as possible. For example, this is the radiator with the shroud and the fans. And as you can see, the shroud is cracked, it's missing some pieces, and it's not reusable. Alongside that, the water pump inverter for the hybrid system is broken. And the reason that I mention this is because if we try to find this part online, it is insanely expensive. And of course, there are reasons on why they are so expensive, but that's not important right now. What really matters right now is how are we going to get it for cheaper? Well, after making phone call after phone call, I was finally able to get a good deal. I just got this package in the mail, and I think it's supposed to be this right here. And I'm hoping that this new one has both the fans and the water pump, because this water pump alone is about $200, and I paid less than $200 for this entire thing. Yes, let's go. That is literally like $200 saved right there. Now, the radiator fans are one example of many. And my main point is saving money while rebuilding a car is a lot harder than it seems, but it's not impossible. With that being said, I finally ordered basically all the parts, so let's get to work. All right, I know we're missing most of the front end, but the first thing that I want to do is put in our battery so that hopefully we can get it running and driving under its own power instead of robbing a battery from my dad's car. So let's put in the battery tray. There you go. And put in our brand new battery. This is by far the smallest battery I have ever seen in my life. Connect the positive. But we still have a problem. The battery is loose. So I bought this brand new backing plate for, I think, $8. And from my understanding, this goes, and there you go. We have a brand new battery that is mounted in there perfectly. On the topic of fixing things, I have some good news. In the last video, I talked about how this rear wheel was flat and we weren't sure why. And well, my dad took it to a tire shop and we found out there was a screw right here on the edge of the tire. The good news is, even though it's very close to the edge, it was able to be fixed. And that's really good because we have almost brand new tires. So now we can officially throw it back on the car and we will have 4 functional tires once again. All right, so I finally got the structural pieces for the Corolla. And although that is awesome, it doesn't fit until we go ahead and bend all of this stuff back into shape. Because during the accident, this was pushed in, and since it was bolted to the rest of the car, well, the rest of the car got bent as well. So let's start bending this Corolla back into shape. See how straight this side looks and how not straight this side looks? Yeah, I'm just going to replace it. Changing plans, this is so twisted, I don't think it's really worth saving. So I'm going to take all the structural pieces out of the way. We're going to cut it out and replace it. This should be fun. Oh, it's not even welded on, it's just bolted on. That's a good surprise. Wow. I thought I was going to have to do a lot more. Can you tell which one is not bent and which one is bent? The original one is angled like that, and the new one is angled like that. This top piece is another topic. Dude, I think we're set. I just gotta paint it now. All right, the core support is finally in. Everything is still slightly finger tight because, well, I have to paint this all red. You know what? This is going to take forever, so, and there you, hold on. It's been days. It might have taken a while, but now that it's painted, we can finally start reassembling. I forgot to paint this part. I'm actually really excited for this piece. This is the active grille shutter. It was broken on the bottom. It was broken right here. I 3D printed some new brackets and I glued it all back together with really strong epoxy. So this saved me about 200 bucks. That's pretty cool. All right, before we go ahead and get too far on the front end, let's remove the last damaged piece on this car, and that's the hood. So I know there's a lot of plastics in here that I'm forgetting, so I don't want to put this too far together yet. I do want to see my new headlights. And they're on. With that proof of concept, I decided to tear it back apart and this time put it back together perfectly, making sure to not forget any pieces along the way. That's probably going to be easier said than done, but that is my goal. And after taking one step back and 2 steps forward, this rebuild is officially ready for paint. All right, it's time to take a little bit of a detour, move away from working on the car to painting the car. Now, since we're doing a budget rebuild, I can't afford to pay someone to do it. So we're going to be painting it ourselves. Now, lucky for me, I'm only painting the front bumper and the hood, and hopefully if we get a good paint match, that's all we're going to have to do. Now, of course, the painting process is very long and tedious, so I'm going to try to shorten it by breaking it up into simple steps. And of course, the first step is finding somewhere you can actually paint your parts. Now, lucky for me, Nitro Auto Lab was actually kind enough to rent me this space so that I can go ahead and paint this Corolla. So a huge shout out to them. Thank you so much for making this possible. Moving on to step 2, it's time to start sanding. And for this step specifically, we want to use 320 grit sandpaper, and we're going to start sanding every single square inch of these parts. And once you're done sanding, then it's time to go ahead and clean your panels. The better you clean it, the better the paint is going to stick. I mean, I'm not even close to being done yet, and I've already taken off that much junk. And once that's done, we move it into the spray booth and we get ready to spray. And then once you're all ready, it's time to spray. First the primer, and then the base coat. Do a couple coats of that, and then clear coat. And just like that, after almost 12 hours, we painted half of it. That's right, this time around, we only painted underneath the hood, the hinges, and one of the core support pieces that I originally forgot to paint. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to flip the hood over, paint the top side and the bumper, and call it a day. And there you go, it's dry, so let's flip it over and get painting. Actually, that's a lie. We're not quite ready to paint yet because I messed up the bumper. Yesterday, I primed it and it turned out amazing. It looks perfect, but I forgot a very crucial step. This is adhesive promoter, and without this, my paint is at serious risk of flaking off in the future, which means I need to go ahead and sand it down again. With that casual 2-hour delay, it's time to get back in the paint booth and finish this paint job. And although I'm not a professional, I gotta say it turned out awesome. Now, even though it did turn out awesome, there's still a couple questions I need to answer. Like, how much did it cost? Did I even save any money? And is it going to match? Well, lucky for me, I can actually find out exactly how much I spent because I mixed everything on this paint deck right here, and everything that I mix gets saved on this computer. So what's the grand total? I spent exactly $514.62. That's really expensive, especially for only 2 parts. If you're wondering why it was so expensive, it's because it's red. And for some reason that I'm not fully aware of, red paint is always very expensive. Ask me how I know. Complaints aside, I still saved some money by doing it myself, but at the same time, I spent 2 days to do that. I'm not really sure if it was worth the time. I guess you guys can let me know. But we'll talk more about the prices in a little bit. Let's load these up and get them installed. Never mind, we ran into an issue. So this is my beautiful original hood with a little dent up here, and here is my new hood. Looks awesome, looks great, but once you take a step back, they are not the same color, not even close. This is more of a maroon / purplish color, and this is more of like a bright red / cherry. And although both colors look awesome, I don't need both colors to look awesome, I need them to look the same. So yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate, but I guess let's see what it looks like on the car. never mind. Well, with the bumper on the car, it actually doesn't look that bad. I mean, yes, it is slightly different, but I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I also just drove the car for the first time, and I'm starting to not hate the car so much. Honestly, I am very impressed on how well this car drives. Yes, I don't have a seatbelt. Yes, my seat is a little bit loose. Yes, half of the front end is missing. I don't have a headliner. I can't close my sunroof, and I have about 15 lights on the dash, but it does drive actually very good given the state of the car, and I can already imagine what it's going to drive like once it's done. With that being said, it is not legal to drive a car like this on public roadways. So I am driving on a private roadway, so it is legal. Anyways, now that I know that this car runs and drives and actually does it very well, I think it's about time we talk about the elephant in the room and the fact that I still don't have a headliner or airbags. Now it's time to replace the airbags, so let's remove the steering wheel airbag and the knee airbag, and let's replace them. Apparently, if I just shove a pencil in here, it will come out. There you go. That's the knee airbag out, and that thing really blew up. And there you go, the knee airbag has been replaced. So now let's put in the steering wheel airbag. And with those airbags replaced, all that leaves is the curtain airbag, which reminds me that we still need to fix the headliner. All right, instead of buying a brand new headliner for about $1,000, and after trying to find one used and failing, I've decided my best option is to try to fix my original one. It's ripped over here in the corner and it's creased all along this side because, well, the current airbag went off. But I do think that damage is fixable, but we're going to have to go ahead and rip off all of the old material and then reupholster the entire headliner. I've never done this before, so wish me luck. Oh, let's go.
So I guess we'll measure.
No, we tried. I think I'm just gonna accept my loss on this one. Well, the headliner was a complete fail. So if anyone has any recommendations on how to fix this or find a new one, please let me know, because until I get the headliner back in, I can't close my sunroof. Now, I wish that was the only problem I was having with this rebuild, but I just got another one. Now, this right here is the original seatbelt from the Corolla. I got it rebuilt, fixed, and now it should be good. And alongside that, I sent out my airbag module to get it fixed and reset. And if we turn it around, yeah, it could not be safety reset. I took these screws out and I looked inside, and the motherboard is genuinely fried, which really sucks because that's the main component of the airbag system, and until we get that back in, we're going to have airbag light forever. So that means this rebuild currently has three main issues. My airbag module is fried, we don't have a headliner, and nothing on this car wants to fit right. So I guess we're going to have to ignore the airbag stuff and the interior stuff for now, and let's try to make everything fit right. I forgot to put this lower crash bar on. It's like this thing, but smaller and lower. While I still have the bumper off, I think it's time to finally fix our last mechanical issue, and it's time to replace our intake. Nice. Now, unfortunately, the intake wanted to be an absolute pain and required the car to be disassembled again. But once it was out and the new one was in, it was now time to do our final assembly, which means putting the headlights back on, reinstalling the front bumper, making sure every bolt is in place and everything is tight, and then finally, for the first time, putting on the hood. And then just like that, our Toyota Corolla Hybrid looks like a Toyota Corolla Hybrid. How crazy is that? Now, of course, it's not perfect. There are a couple panel gaps that I'm not the biggest fan of, alongside a couple dents and scratches, but we'll figure that out in the next video. Because now, let's talk numbers, because this is a budget rebuild, and well, I want to tell you what my budget was, how close we got to the budget, and how much more we're going to spend, because it still has some problems. Now, first things first, my personal budget was about $3,000, not including the car, just for the repairs. How close did we get? Well, let's find out. The hood and the bumper I bought aftermarket, and they cost $300 combined. That's actually really cheap. And surprisingly, both of them actually kind of fit, which is crazy for the price. I spent $213.18 for the steering wheel airbag. I spent $136.38 for the knee airbag. I spent exactly $250 on the curtain airbag. I spent $15.89 on the hood hinges. I spent another $102.31 on the core support. I spent $28.14 in the previous video on the air filters. I spent $88.12 on the radiator, a casual $555.56 on the headlights, the plastic shields, the grills, and all the small little bits and pieces for the front bumper. I spent a grand total of $109.98 on all of the materials to fix the headliner, which was a fail. We're going to have to talk more about that in the final video when we actually finish this car and try to sell it for a profit, but now is not the time. I spent exactly $170 on the radiator fans with the water pump, which was an absolute steal. I spent $115.22 to reset the airbag module and fix the seat belt, but some of that was refunded because the airbag module was actually fried, so deduct about $40 to $50. I spent $149.59 for a brand new battery because mine was stolen and I couldn't find any of them used. I spent roughly another $200 on the intake. I spent about $50 on coolant, and I spent $550 give or take on the paint job. So grand total, I spent $3,032 give or take. That is not a coincidence. My budget was $3,000 and I actually can't believe I got that close. But of course, we're not done. We still need to finish fixing the headliner. We need to get the car aligned. We need to get a new airbag module, and we still need to blend into the fenders and fix the damage on that fender. And who knows, there might be hidden damage somewhere. So grand total, add another $1,000 worst case scenario. And that means grand total, we're going to be less than $10,000 into this 2023 Toyota Corolla hybrid. If you're curious to see if we make a profit or if you want to see the final result, stay tuned. I will post that video as soon as I can. But that's going to be all for this video. So if you like the video, like it. And if you have any recommendations on how to do this better, make sure to leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.